Let me introduce or reintroduce, you've already heard them a couple of times, so super excited to say that Petar, our CTO, and Eric, our VP of Product, are going to come out and give a deeper dive on Bolt Discovery. How many of you are excited to see this? I know whenever we announced it, everyone's like, oh, I love it, but I want to see more of it. So now is the time we're going to see a lot more, a deeper dive on Bolt Discovery. So without further ado, Petar, Eric, give them a round of applause, folks.
Thanks, everybody. Welcome to a little bit more about Bolt Discovery. Yesterday, during our student success session with Artis and I, we showed you some use cases. During the product keynote, we demonstrated some use cases, and we've really explored that front end, right, that student experience that you might have on a landing page or a website. But what we want to do today is we'll showcase that a little bit, tell you a little bit more about how things work, and then explore how Discovery connects with other places in Element. So Bolt Discovery is our new AI-powered search right within Element 451. It uses the same knowledge base that your student assistants, or formerly BoltBot, uses. So that public part of your knowledge base, so that can be website content, and that's where Bolt Discovery really shines, is with that website content. But you can also use all those other kinds of knowledge, whether it's from documents or just your text articles or what have you. But let's set the table a little bit in case you were not with us for some of the sessions yesterday around what Bolt Discovery is and why we built it. So what we want to do here is give folks who engage with Bolt Discovery answers, not just links. How many of you have gone to a site search or just done a Google search, and what do you get? You just get this sea of links, and you have to find the information based on that. But you're not actually getting the answers that you're looking for. Students, and this comes from the eXpectations trend report, students find things frustrating about our college websites, right? Information can be hard to find about programs and majors. Here's a big one: hard to use navigation or hard to use links, where they don't know where to get the information. Lack of information about job opportunities and admission statistics, and confusing directions for admissions processes, right? So we create our knowledge bases and we refine them, and now they can find answers around that. So the journey around how we think about websites and how we built websites is, first we had websites were all about your information architecture, right? It was, okay, this is my tree, here's all my pages and my subpages, here's the navigation that students or whatever user is going to use to find the information they want. And if they want to find admissions information, they better know that they're going to go to the admissions part of the website. But they might not know that program information isn't under a thing called programs. Maybe it's under a menu item called curriculum, right? So they don't know where to find that information. Then we added site search. Right? So now we have students who can put in a couple of keywords, find hopefully some pages that share the information that they're looking for. But again, they have to hunt, they have to find the answer, and they have to transform that knowledge into the answer themselves. But today's site users expect to use sites and get answers like they're using ChatGPT, right? Since ChatGPT and other bots have come on the market, everyone is using them, and they expect that same user experience on our websites now. So that's where Bolt Discovery is layering in that generative AI layer, and now you don't have to worry necessarily about your information architecture or how good that search is and the keywords on those particular sites. So today, we do see students and our visitors to our websites are largely using navigation links. They're using those menus. But again, that is a friction point. So we're seeing the most used way of finding information on a website is also the top frustration that students are having. They can't find the information. And way down there at the bottom is using a chatbot or something like Bolt Discovery. And we want to flip the script on that, and we want to see that number skyrocket to be the number one way that students, parents, and other stakeholders at our institutions are gaining that knowledge. So let's go ahead and take a look at how Discovery works, and we'll give you a quick front end. So this is, again, the knowledge base here that we're using is from our friends at Forsyth Tech. So this is largely their course catalog information. So Petar will go ahead and give us a question here.
So we can go a little bit again about the anatomy of the response here, which is really interesting. You can see a couple of things happening. Right here on the resources, you will see web pages. This is the content from the knowledge base that Discovery found relevant as it was searching, and it will cite them, and they will come in first. On the right side, you will see a YouTube video as well. So these videos also belong to the knowledge base. We covered that already when we did the assistance, but we can talk a little bit about this today as well. If the transcript matches and it's relevant in some degree, it will cite that as well on the right-hand side. Below, you will see the answer. And what's really, really interesting is that you get follow-ups. These follow-ups are crucial. They entice engagement. And we already mentioned that there's some magic in them. You can actually come in here and let's ask something about the courses. I want to do maybe on the next turn. We have one button that appears. You will see like 3 appear sometimes 4, sometimes 5. Those differences is because we detect certain situations of interest, and that situation might be, hey, we detected the student might want to apply and we want to convert them. Let's give a lead gen form and show that to them. So what happened now, it went in search the knowledge base and tried to find all the courses for the cybersecurity. So we got a lot of answers. One sec, let me just wrap up. And now it will go and give us the follow-ups. And you see the first one, I'm interested in applying. So I can continue asking questions, but what if I click the first one? You see it shows the inline the form to capture the lead. So this is a good moment where you can come in here and you can be a student.
So, and as we said yesterday, those follow-ups are actually generated by the AI call, right? So it's taking the context of the last question that was asked and the rest of that conversation, and it's saying, okay, what might be a good follow-up question for this person to have, and it's generating that on the fly. So these are not predetermined or question and answer kind of A/B sort of scenarios. This is the AI generating those follow-ups.
Yep, it takes everything into the context. And one more thing that currently is supported, we'll not demo it today probably, but if the student wants to talk to a human and be like, hey, can I talk to somebody? And this exists on a page where there's Messenger as well. It will show a button, hey, do you want to talk to a person? It will hand off to the messenger. Either an assistant will take over or a human actually. But I wanted to continue on this approach. So, okay, we captured the lead. What happens now? So it happens like usually an element. Let's go to the people page, and you see the person. Let me just refresh. So we see the person appearing here, and how we can know where they came from. We had a specific milestone, prospect milestone. It includes the date, but also includes from which actual discovery thread it came. Where does this go? Well, we actually introduced a new feature here under engagement, which is Bolt Discovery, where you will see all your threads. So you can quickly click here, go to the actual thread that the student was asking, and you have all the context that you needed, how they actually became a lead. So this is really, really helpful to figure out why and how students are interacting and how they're coming. On the left side, you will see all the other threads that we did so far. You can see like all the history. You will see the cited resources, YouTube videos, and you see also the location from where they came. This is the kind of like a standalone URL here that you see. But you can also, if this is running on your website, there's ways I'll show you how, and you will see that your URL appearing here. So now, since we are already here on the dashboard side, I want to show the settings page. There's not much because we wanted to keep this simple. It should be just one text box, right? That You just ask what you want, you get what you want. So in terms of configuring, there's not much. You will just need to add your title. You can, because Element comes with pre-built common application knowledge and financial aid knowledge, you can enable that if you want that to be there, or if you can disable and just put your own in the knowledge base. And you have starters, right? Those starters are they will appear like little CTAs below the text box. Let's add one. This can be what we, for example, as an example, cybersecurity. I am interested in studying cybersecurity.
Right, so that message that Petar's putting in there is actually what will be passed to Discovery when the student clicks that starter.
Right. So those are the things that appear here. Because this can be in many contexts. You can have it on different pages, and you might want to control which questions appear where. Each starter, let me come back here. Each starter actually has conditions where you can control where that lives. So you have total control. One thing extra that we had, so you saw that form that we got was really simple. It was a small one, but you might want to capture more information when you're in this, when you get to the lead capture flow. So we have added a functionality here where you can define your own lead capture form. So you can use any form that you have already built in Element and say also on which page, on which conditions it needs to appear. And it's basically just, hey, enable it, and it will show embedded inside of Discovery. So let's do one example. I think this one is enabled here, yes? So let's start a new one. We offer your science programs.
And you can use any form in Element, right? So it can be an RFI. It can be one of our new simple forms. It can be one of those authenticated forms. So if you're on a page that is more of a current student context, you can use authenticated forms. You can actually have a form that takes a payment embedded right within Discovery as well.
Okay, we need to add a different one, I think. One sec. We made a mistake, Eric?
Did we?
I think so, somehow. Okay, I'll continue. I'll get back to this in the end. So what we have next, what I want to show is the sharing capability, which is really important as well. So the student, for example, as they are running their thread, they might want to share this information with somebody else. You can share a specific message, or you can share the whole thread. It's here. Currently, each one is private. So if we were to copy this here and want to open in incognito, you cannot enter. But if you now make it public, copy the link, so incognito again, it's now accessible by other people. However, they cannot come in here and basically change this. This is like persistent in time. So what the student asked, that's stored. So if I were to continue the conversation and be like, okay, do you offer any online computer science? You actually maybe saw that the URL actually changed. So you see this part here, we changed what we call a slugified version of the URL. So this now belongs to a different student entirely. So you have the whole history, and you're able to continue asking questions. This will be really useful also for research and also for sharing, for example, with parents or advisors, etc. So that's on the sharing part. I want to show one more thing here is that we offer sharing with share on Facebook, share on X, or share on WhatsApp, where basically we'll just integrate, go on Twitter. Sorry, I'm not logged in this one. Let me go here. And it basically creates a tweet, and you can post that or send it on Facebook or send it to somebody on WhatsApp as well. So Eric, would you maybe like to come and maybe show where Discover lives in Element and how you can use it?
So Discovery has a few homes within Element, and the first one is inside of Pages. So if we come to our Pages here.
I close it, it's on engagement.
Yep, that's all right. So if we come to Pages, you can see that we have a new component available, and it is this component here. So when you're building your...
It's on the bottom.
What's that?
It's on the bottom.
There it is. When you're building those pages, I don't have a problem clicking your mouse here, Petar.
I'll click.
There you go. So here, I added that component, and that's right there. I can customize this component, and I can no code, update the color, update the gradient, etc. I can also go ahead and update the placeholder text. So right now this says, ask anything, but I can make that more customizable. And I can also add starters that are specific to this page here. So those same starters that you saw in the baseline discovery, here with this component, I can build starters specific to this page. So really fast and easy on a element 451 page, you can get discovery up and running very, very quickly. So we have that component. We also have the ability to, when you add a link, you can actually have a link that adds a discovery question. So you can link this to another page that has discovery in it, and then you can have it, you can just put your question right there, and when the student clicks on that particular link, it will go to that web page, it will pass that question into discovery and open that session right away. So you can kind of kick off that conversation with discovery in sort of a guided way.
And why this works and like automatically is every page and every basically even site, application site, and pages, landing pages and sites that we announced yesterday, they all have discovery already pre-built. You probably use maybe our analytics tracker or our messenger. You put a little like a shell code, probably like a little snippet on your websites. So that will preload it basically everywhere that you also loaded messenger as well. So you don't need to do anything. You just need to say, hey, just ask a question, and we'll show you how you can also integrate into your pages. This is a really good one as well.
The other way that you can do it is really with any link, because you can pass a query parameter in for discovery on any link. So if you're in other systems or maybe your CMS and you want to have a link that starts a discovery session, you can do that. In this particular example, this is actually in our campaigns, and our call to action button is learning more about clubs and organizations at Forsyth. And you can see here where we add that query parameter at the end with bolt discovery Q equals, what's after that equal sign is actually what will happen, what will show when the student clicks on that link. So in this case, it will take you to that landing page, and it will start that discovery session. So I'm going to cheat here a little bit and just paste this in. But the other really interesting thing about, so you can see that link, open discovery, and now we're starting that conversation around this. So we are now guiding the student through. It's not just, hey, click on this button and see our web content, right? They become an active participant in sort of this knowledge journey.
And again, as we mentioned, if you have the shell on your website, you can actually point this to your website.
To your own website, yep.
So this query parameter would work in any context as well.
So the other powerful thing in campaigns is you can actually use all of the tokens within campaigns. So if you know something like the student's major, and you wanted to send a campaign out and put students on a landing page and say, tell me more about X major, right? Now that that particular student is getting a really personalized experience, because Petar's cybersecurity discovery question is going to be different than my biology or art one.
Can you maybe show the token in the campaign?
Yep. So right here, I can come in and I can just add a token, so something like intended major.
Yes.
Right in here, so that would be replaced when we send the email for that student's particular major. So really powerful ways to have students start engaging with this content in a really different and meaningful way.
I'd like to show one more example that we missed a sec on the pages. Is we showed the link where you can add a question. Any link can become a question that opens discovery. But also, if you have a, let me find a component with a button, For example, we could do a CTA billboard. So here, we now changed how buttons work in pages. You now specify the action, and there's a couple, and we will keep on iterating to add more kind of like open a survey, or for example, here is like go to a subpage, because now we added sites yesterday, but we added ask a bold discovery question as well. So every button can also be like the link example as well. So now I would like to show how, for example, if you have your own website, and potentially you don't want to put bold discovery as a component, but you want to be able to trigger bold discovery from your own website in ways. There's one more way. We built an SDK. Here's a page. This is a public URL. You can go here. This shows an example how you can integrate. So you just put this little...
zoom in there, Petar.
Yeah, sorry. So you just put this little snippet of code. You probably already have done that because you have your own shell for Messenger, so it's exactly the same thing. Your engineers, if they need to work and edit, for example, in their HTML, this is a way how you can edit to the HTML, basically just adding this little data attribute to any button or any link, any clickable element. The discovery, because it's attached in your page and understands those, listens for the click handlers. But also, if they don't want to write HTML, if they want to control it via JavaScript, for example, there's SDK that's exposed here, and I can just show an example where you can come here and basically run this code, and it opens Discovery as well. So it's really easy, one line of code, you can put it anywhere. And our friends at Foresight actually have already went live with Discovery. So they have their search, and they added Discover More. So you see, this is a good example where you can actually integrate into your own UI without sacrificing anything. Like, we don't force you to use our pre-built components.
Yeah, so they actually have Discovery now living right alongside their traditional site search. So when you come to their website, you click that magnifying glass, you have the option of doing sort of the traditional site search or Discover More, and Discover More will give you that bolt discovery process. But you can see kind of the stark difference, right? Like, oh geez, now I got to go through all of these computer engineering pages to find the information that I'm looking for, instead of getting the answers to the question I'm asking.
So this is the point we wanted to prove. So that's the stark difference, so in experience that you get. And I promise that we will show that embeddable form. So let's just go there, because I think I know what was the problem. Ta-da.
There you go. So here we've selected a particular form. You can use any form in Element to do these lead captures, right? Or to gather more information based on the context of where that particular student is on your site or on an Element landing page. So really powerful, really flexible, a lot of ways to get to discovery. We wanted to make sure that this wasn't just one thing that was laying out in Never Never Land that folks would never use or be able to find. This is really, really powerful, so we wanted to give lots of roads into discovery, so you all can leverage it and your students can have that much of a better experience when navigating your websites. With that, we've got a few minutes for questions. So if anybody's got a question, we're happy to.
So, whoa, hello. Hello. Hi, Michael from TSTC. The implications of where we can embed this all over the place is really, really cool. Career Services, Mel's here from Career Services. We're so glad we have Career Services here.
Yeah.
The Career Services implication, so you're using all public LLM data and all the stuff in the back end of that, right? It's not purely on the knowledge basis that we're providing it. So if we wanted to have a prompt like, what are the 10 hardest things about being a welder, or career-oriented kinds of questions and exploration, those can be crafted, and it's not dependent on our training data. You're going to be utilizing the $1.6 trillion point.
So it uses your knowledge base, right? It uses the content you put in there, but it's also flexible. So if you're asking a question that's kind of like open-ended, it's able to continue, and that's the conversational nature. So it will kind of like pick and choose when it does need to search. The thing that's also really interesting when it does the search, just so you know, it doesn't do like a single pass search. Sometimes if something is complex, like we ask it, hey, do you offer, computer science programs, multiple? It'll need to do a couple of maybe rounds to try to gather more information to summarize the information.
So we use the knowledge base to curate the knowledge base.
Yes.
Right.
Any other questions? Oh, okay.
How well does both the discovery and the assistance interpret misspellings?
Very well.
We have a lot of international students and non-native English speakers.
Very well.
Yeah.
And that's the nature of LLMs in general, especially GPT-4. It's able to understand if like like little different letters are different, and just try it out. You'll see. Even like in ChatGPT, if you try to type it, you'll see that it's able to understand. The problem might be if somebody tries to do like acronyms. And we did it on yesterday when we did the voice for the FAFSA, so I don't want to say FAFSA. so if that's the only thing that can be problematic.
Yeah.
But nobody will actually write, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe they will. So.
Yeah, misspellings, not a problem at all. Assistance, and I haven't tried emojis in Discovery, but assistance will interpret emojis and say, oh, you're happy, you're sad, oh, you're finding your home on campus, whatever it is, right? These LLMs are really good at interpreting that sort of data as well. Other questions? No? I know we've talked about Discovery a lot. We're really excited about it. So hopefully this means that you guys are all ready to get back to campus and start launching Discovery across your web assets. And the next session is actually sort of expanding on that with Pages and our new Sites feature as well.